Well guys, I heard so many comments about this car when I got it, when I traded that 1978 Buick for this. Sorry, not Buick. It was an Oldsmobile Delta 98. You guys remember all the comments you left? Let's take a look at them. All these comments you guys left. You know, tell me I did a bad trade. That was the worst trade in history. I think one of the ones was he sniffing glue on that day? No. I don't know rear-wheel drives. I really don't. But you know what? I do know Toyota Camrys. So I got this Toyota Camry wagon. I traded actually two Camrys, two pre-ran Camrys, for that Buick Oldsmobile. This one here was a manual Camry wagon. I pulled out the manual. I put an automatic. I took it to Schaumburg. I won Schaumburg. I lent it to a buddy to run Barrie. He got clobbered in Barrie. He broke an axle, broke a tie rod, and pushed that whole door in. And he had fun, didn't win. I took this thing to Collingwood, and it was a soupy mess. But let me show you guys something. That's right, she did it again. She won its second derby with me in the ring. I'm just going to outright say this car is terrifying. There's a lot of things wrong with it. I did not build this car. I should have changed a lot of things when I changed the motor in this car, but I didn't because I didn't really think of it. And now all those are coming back to haunt it. There is a lot of things wrong with this car, but it ran well enough. And to be honest, I don't think I deserved that win in Collingwood. I think the other Camry deserved the win, but this thing handled the heat a little bit better than his, so it did actually pull out the win somehow. It was a very soupy mess, and it didn't have the ground clearance, and his Camry did, so he was running circles around me. If he had picked his shots, he could have cleared me off that ring in no time, but he didn't. He didn't take his shots when he could have. I think he was more worried about the other car that was a little bit quicker than me in there, and he spent a lot of time getting on it, and then he got hotter and hotter and hotter in the mud. But joke's on him, this thing won't actually take water, so it was already hot, so he kind of knew what to expect. I think she's got such low compression that she just does really good when it gets hot. But there were some problems, and I actually pulled out the win. Right before I was going into the finals, the positive wire to the starter grounded out on the back of the engine. The engine's gone back so far into the firewall that it actually chewed all the sheathing off the power cable and caught fire before I went in the ring. So I quickly put that fire out before I went in the ring, and most of the time it kept arcing out, so I kept shaking the power wire, and so it would stop arcing because there's no alternator in this. So I just took the battery out of my Dodge, put into it, did what I got to do. And she came alive. I never once took my foot off the gas, power shifting it, but I don't think it really had enough power to brake axles. But let's take a look at this thing and see how bad it is. But you guys told me it was junk, and you guys were wrong. I knew it wasn't junk. That's not true. It was junk. I knew it was junk. But I knew it was junk that I could... I like my junk, guys. I respect my junk. We should do a compression test on this motor, too. We really should. Let's take a look to see what went wrong. Well, here's your first thing that went wrong. All your transmission lines are all smushed into nothing. I was hitting with the transmission in the feature. You can see all the lines are smushed into the motor. You have the motor mount right through the oil pan. You have it so it has so much engine blow-by that it kept blowing the dipstick out, so I actually had to tie the dipstick in so that way it wouldn't blow the dipstick out and push all the oil up into the header. Subframe, this side has got a nice curvature to it, but this side right here went on a sharp 90. Does not have an alternator belt, hasn't had an alternator belt on it I think since Schaumburg. Passenger side got destroyed on this thing, so let's just take a look down there. Yep, that's destroyed. Positive wire to the starter. Where can I find it? Yep, there she is right there. Look at that. You can tell that thing caught fire. I cut the seatbelt out of the car and tried to wrap it as best as I could with the seatbelt actually in the ring because I was waiting for the other guys to come. But I think it's actually arced out over here as well because it was definitely arcing out more and more and more. Shifter's still doing okay. Fire extinguisher, you guys are going to laugh at this one, is on the outside of the car. That's your fire extinguisher right there. So that's no good. The cage is terrifying. The gas tank, the whole floor is actually better than the Pro car, but the floor is there. And yeah, the back of this thing is here. I don't know better way to describe it than it's just here, guys. So, oh well. There's not much left of it. What we're going to take off of it is the fuel tank, the fuel lines, the shifter, the battery. I'm probably just going to scrap the positive cable because how frayed it is. We're going to do a compression test on the motor to see if we're going to keep it. Might keep the transmission, I'm not sure, so I might drop it and just keep it. Have to start cutting away at this and see what I can get at. But yeah, we got a lot of parts to take out of it, and apparently I never took off the GoPros, so we got to be doing this tonight too. So we got this one up here and another one in there that we got to take off, and we can go from there. But guys, I can't believe it. This car won Collingwood. It won the heat. Heat was very soupy, and I knew I couldn't go in the middle of the ring, so I pretty much just tried to stick to the outside edges. They were very, very aggressively counting for a track that they put 4 times the amount of water on than they should have. But whatever. Just tried to keep moving, tried to keep making hits. And you know what's absolutely terrifying, guys? If there was a small local show that I didn't care about, I would run this car again. And it would probably get torn apart inside that ring, but I don't care. I would still run this. You guys are laughing at me. Like, I'm not talking like a Fall Brawl Rockton show, but like I'm talking like a Stratford or like a Forest or something like that show, right? Because this thing is pretty damn close to stock, and it's not doing great. But I don't think anything's going to go much farther than what it is. The bumper is about as high as it can go because it's into everything else. The subframe's almost touching the ground. It leaves all my innards open. If somebody gets in there, they can just get right at the innards, which is not a great spot for my innards, but it happens. But no, it was a great car. The headers, this is my tanked header. Loop line kit did not work. The frame is completely bowed out. Oh yeah, this was a manual car, so it does have a master on it. We broke the EGR off of this thing. It's definitely done, guys. But you guys were all wrong. It was junk, but it was good junk. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you back here later on Zach's workshop. We're going to be tearing this one apart here shortly, that's for sure. Need to get some space for winter. Need to get rid of a lot of these cars, that's for sure. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. We'll see you back here tomorrow on Zach's workshop.